Magyar Nagidic.
Huh?
Magyar Nagidic.
Dude, are you high?
I can't confirm that, but Magyar Nagidic, Rishi.
Are you doing stuff that we're not supposed to do and say on
No,
this?
this is the Grand Prix weekend you've been waiting for.
Magyar Nagidic.
Yes.
What is that? Bernie Eccleston's someone's name.
Magyar Nagidic. I can tell you the Hungarian Grand Prix has been around for 28 years.
Yes.
I am probably seeing it for the last 15 years, maybe 20 years.
Yes.
And I have never been able to get this pronunciation right.
Magyar Nagidic.
That's Hungarian. I'm guessing it means Grand Prix or it means Hungarian Grand Prix, but it is something Hungarian and it's about the Hungarian Formula 1 Grand Prix.
Okay, Hungarian or not, if it's Formula 1, it's on the inside line. Rishi Kapoor, Kunal Shah. Two mad people, love the vroom vroom, love the front and the rear wing and everything between it. Kunal, so good to see you and so good to see Formula 1 coming back this weekend.
Indeed, Formula 1 coming back this weekend at the Hungaroring.
And?
Okay. And we have some brilliant news that one of your favorite circuits and mine, the A1 Ring, is going to be back next year as well.
It's going to be called?
It's going to be called the Red Bull Ring.
Yes, because of a sponsorship deal. But
Yes.
hey, we love the track. I mean, 70% on the throttle, very challenging uphill corners. It's actually in the middle of the forest. I remember Juan Pablo Montoya was once having a practice session and a deer actually crossed his
Yes.
part. And the team actually explained to him that a deer is like a horse with horns. Brilliant racing. One of the few circuits which will go down in history with a lot of controversy. One of the biggest ones and no bigger than this one has ever happened in Formula 1 when two drivers stepped on the same side of the podium. Barrichello and Michael Schumacher. Barrichello was asked to lift off and let Michael through, and Michael returned the favor on the podium.
Yes. You know, Neil Armstrong, when he went to the moon,
Correct.
and he said one step of leap is a giant step for mankind,
Correct.
you know, or whatever that is, he said.
Correct.
It was that one step that Michael Schumacher took, which cost Ferrari $100,000. I think it was the 2002 Austrian Grand Prix.
And the very next year, Michael and Barrichello both had fires in their fuel chambers, and they yet overtook Kimi Räikkönen. Michael actually won that Grand Prix.
Yes, I'll trust you totally with this piece of history. But you know, an interesting piece of case.
Yes.
We're going to the Hungaroring
Correct.
this weekend. The A1 ring has been announced.
Woohoo!
And you and I love the Nürburgring and the Hockenheim ring. So something is with the rings everywhere, I guess.
Yeah, I know everything. I think we should start calling Spa also a Spa-Francorchamps ring. I love the rings.
The Suzuka ring.
Yes, I love wedding ring.
No, that's for you.
Okay. Formula 1 it is. Formula 1 has a lot of races. Venues keep increasing every year. Bernie Eccleston said we need only 20 races in a year, but he's lined up 22 to 24 circuits next year. Now I'm really confused. Run me through the maps.
Run you through the map. So, okay, the easier way is to say which one I believe should be out or could be out. And I think it's going to be something you agree with as well, which is the Korean Grand Prix.
Very, very filthy pit lane exit. Very, very long track. I mean, with Valencia along with Korea, we are not the biggest fans except one turn on Korea, which I feel makes very good TV. But otherwise,
So I think it's the Korean Grand Prix that's going to be out, which still leaves us with dropping one more race.
One more race. So that's a very difficult question for any
it's
Formula
difficult.
1.
And I have a feeling that the New Jersey race, which was supposed to happen this year as well, may not happen next year purely due to financial reasons.
I hope the Circuit of the Americans stays because it's quite good.
I think it will stay.
But
yes.
you know, one of the axing candidates of Grand Prix could be the Indian Grand Prix, and I hate to say this, but that could not happen. That should not happen.
It should not happen, but let's hope it never happens as well.
I hope it just stays, and for Formula 1 and Indian motorsport racing, we need that and how. But let's get back to the venue in sight. That's the Hungaroring. Very, very tight corners. It needs 2 DRS zones and still will not make up for any overtaking.
Yes, you know, it's a very memorable race, and I remember most of my memories of seeing processional races out there.
Oh, yes.
And I remember so many times a Schumacher or a Barrichello and everyone else who's tried to overtake. At best, they'll try and look into the inside, but then they'll realize how dirty or green the circuit or the offline is and then come back and fall in line.
Let me please remind you, one of Michael Schumacher's monumental wins here came because during the race they changed the strategy from a 2-stop to a 3-stop, and he overtook both McLarens with 19 qualifying laps, one after the other.
Yes, that bit I do remember.
Okay, history on the Hungaroring, very controversial. Fernando Alonso versus Lewis Hamilton when they were in McLaren together, when Ron Dennis actually got up and threw it headphones, and Fernando actually blocked Lewis
Yes.
in the pit lane.
Yes. You know, the good thing is there are good memories of the circuit as well.
Correct.
First time career wins for a lot of drivers, which includes your favorite and mine, Jenson Button,
Oh, yes.
which includes your favorite and mine, Alonso.
And which includes your favorite Kovalainen.
Okay, let's say Caterham favorite Kovalainen.
Okay, okay.
And it also includes Damon Hill. I didn't like him as much. He won 96 against a Schumacher, but nevertheless. And so lots of good memories when people will come there.
Okay. So there could be a first-time winner this year.
Yes, I would love to see that happen.
Could that be a Sahara Force India F1?
Tell me. Tell me about it.
So could that be an ex-Sahara Force India F1?
Well, I hope the Hulk doesn't take the win and either of the Sahara Force India drivers take the win.
All right. Somebody who's got to win this time for the first time is a new Pirelli tire, because it's a new tire and these tires have got tested in the young drivers program. Of course, Mercedes would have missed out on a lot of information which they would get from Pirelli, but let's face it, they would have liked to have it.
Yeah, I mean, in today's day and age, any amount of track time is very vital, and Mercedes would have been big losers. Okay, they would have got access to all the data, but the data is irrelevant if it doesn't apply to your car's parameters.
Absolutely.
Okay, but the young drivers test, apparently the new compounds have been given a thumbs up, which also means that they degrade slightly less.
Which means
We might just see lesser pit stop strategies and lesser, what do we call it? What is that word?
I'll tell you the name.
Unpredictability.
No, the name is Lotus.
Yeah.
Because Lotus might just...
Yeah. Lotus might just... They've also, in fact, from this, Grand Prix, reduced the pit lane speed limit as well.
Correct.
So, new tires, change in pit lane speed limit, two very big parameters. So, seeing different strategies this weekend as well.
Let's come back to Hungary and the winners here. This is one man that usually wins but does not win here. The name is Vettel.
Right.
I'll tell you, the closest he came to winning was back, I think 3 years ago, where he was leading the Grand Prix and behind the safety car, he fell too far behind the safety car, that is beyond the 2-car distance, and so he was given a pit lane penalty, and Weber did a brilliant strategy and won that race.
My God, I have no idea where all that terabyte of information is stored in Rishi Kapoor.
Okay, cheering for Alonso because his last win was in 2003, or cheering for Kimi because his last win was, I don't know when.
Yeah, can you imagine? We're going to a circuit where Alonso, who's been in the running for the World Championship,
Absolute.
for the last 4-5 years, has not won here in 10 years. And Ferrari hasn't won here in like 9 years. So
which is just sad.
Yeah, which is just sad. And I mean, I'll be hoping for a Ferrari and Alonso win if the Sahara Force India drivers are not in contention.
Okay, let me put this straight, coin to coin. Your top 3 and my top 3.
My top 3. I'd love to see a Sahara Force India driver.
Not
since
happening.
we're talking of it. Okay, fine. So I don't say not happening, but irrespective. I think we might just have a non-Vettel podium. I have a feeling the Lotus car will benefit from the new tires.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, I genuinely feel Sahara Force India will benefit as well. Okay. And may just be a Mercedes as well, because if the tires are going back to 2012 compounds,
Correct.
okay, and tire wear is less, it might just help Mercedes. But you never know. You can never ignore a Red Bull or a Vettel or a Weber or an Alonso.
And I hope if it's a Ferrari, if it's a Scarlet car we want to see on the podium, it is Felipe's, because he almost lost an eye and a lot more part of the head.
Yes.
Because of that terrible stone crash, that piece of debris that came into his helmet at some terrible speed.
That's correct. Cheer for Felipe.
Cheer for Felipe. Coming to crashes, this is new crash man, if I may call it, a new crash coach we have in Formula 1. Have you heard the name of Kamui Kobayashi?
Yes, I think I have.
You think you have? I've seen a video that Ferrari released in an older Formula 1 car, relatively
The
older
F60.
Formula 1. The F60, fab-looking car, lots of power. But that man was struggling for grip, and those were very, very bad racing conditions. Hit the white line and...
boom!
kaput goes the Ferrari's front suspension.
A demonstration run. I mean, how sad could it be for Kobayashi? Come on.
You've spoiled a Ferrari. You have sinned. You shall not make it to the final dinner. We are, by the way, moving for our dessert and for Hungaroring, because post Hungaroring is another 3-week lockout. So lots of Formula 1 to absorb this weekend, and then probably savor it for another 3. My name is Rishi Kapoor. The man standing opposite me is a very, very rocking Formula 1 friend of mine, Kunal Shah. Both of us get together to get you the inside line. Happy listening.